is good? It's your boy Ty back here with another video. And in this video today, guys, we're going to be going over and talking about the best lineup that you guys can run, can assemble right now in NBA 2K24 MyTEAM. Now, this used to be the video that said, you know, if the 250K tournament was today. Okay, it's the same thing. So if I was to go into the 250K tournament tomorrow, today, whenever, what is the squad I would use? That is going to be exactly what this is going to be. Now, again, this is my personal preference. There are position groups that are extremely close, even the point guard position, but we'll break down and talk about all of them. Starting point guard, guys, I'm plugging in Dwyane Wade. I think he is by far the most complete point guard in the game. Now, am I saying he's by far the best point guard in the game? No. The only other, you could make the argument for Oscar. I'm not the biggest Oscar fan. The only other two are Kyrie and Steph Curry. The problem with Kyrie, the problem with Steph is they don't play a ton of defense. And so when it comes down to comparing them to Dwyane Wade, D-Wade, in my opinion, just does a little bit more for me personally. Okay, that's my personal opinion on things. I think, you know, his release leaves a little bit to be desired. Offensively, he's not great. But on the defensive end of the court, he's absolutely elite. 6'5", plays so much defense on the court. It's honestly borderline ridiculous. And so for me, he takes the cake as overall the best point guard, and my starting point guard in my team. Shooting guard position, Brandon Roy. About a month ago, okay, I made the statement that I felt like Brandon Roy, Trace McGrady, and Devin Booker were all the same level. I feel like Brandon Roy has separated himself. For me, maybe it's because I have him and have just been using him quite a bit. But I feel like as far as just complete players, right? That's what I want, right? Dwyane Wade's complete. Brandon Roy's complete. You gotta make the case that if you're talking complete shooting guards, he is better than those other two guys. Now, that's not me saying the other two guys aren't good. Like, offensively speaking, Devin Booker is probably your best shooting guard. T-Mac is 6'8", he's a little bit taller. But when it comes down to the most complete, I think Brandon Roy is that option. Plays a lot of defense. His release is silky smooth. Offensively is knocked down. And can be that kind of primary option next to Dwyane Wade. Now, at the starting small forward position, plugging in Diamond Kevin Durant. Now, here's the deal, guys. I would say with this lineup right now, I don't have anybody that I love as a quote-unquote primary ball handler. I don't, okay? And it's weird because normally like my primary is Steph or Kyrie. With this lineup, it's probably like Brandon Roy or KD. But that's the one thing about it is if you run into Dwyane Wade, you want to run guys around him that can make some plays. With Brandon Roy, KD, you have that. KD is 6'10". He has the best shooting badges right now in my team. Literally better than, I think his shooting badges, if you compare them side by side, are just as good, if not better than Steph Curry's. Which is crazy considering Steph is the greatest shooter of all time. Comes with half range, and again, he's 6'10". So don't think KD is just on the team to play offense. Defensively, KD is still absolutely elite. He can switch on to bigs and get you that occasional paint stop. I just feel like overall, this is from small forward to through point guard through small forward, the most complete 1 through 3 there are in the entire game. Now, that's my opinion. You guys can disagree with me on that, but I broke things down, and this is what I came to the conclusion of. Starting power forward position, I'm plugging in Amethyst Anthony Davis. Again, my bench is going to have, I would say, more set non-all-around players, right? So far, all of these 4 cards can do a little bit of everything on the court. They all can play defense. They all can shoot the ball. And so I'm just going to plug in my center as well. And so that's what my starting lineup is going to be. My center is Chris Bosh. Now, yes, Chris Bosh's release is pretty troll. It's hard to agree with Chris Bosh, especially consistently. But if you get it down, you're not going to miss with the card. But from top to bottom, I think these 5 are all really complete cards. And I feel like if you play Dwyane Wade at point guard, you need more complete cards around him. That's my opinion on things. If you run Kyrie, if you run Steph, then you can have, you know, okay, the inside bigs. Then you can have the pure locks, like with Robert Covington or whoever else you want to run. With Dwyane Wade, you need guys around him who can make plays. And AD, Chris Bosh, if you want to switch their positions, depends on where you want to run them, you can. I prefer AD at the 4, Chris Bosh at the 5. Some people prefer Chris Bosh at the 4, AD at the 5. Just ultimately run them wherever you personally want to. Now, heading into my bench unit, okay? In my bench point guard, we're plugging in Steph Curry, okay? Now, I've got to make this clear. The reason I'm running Steph Curry is because my backup power forward is going to be Draymond Green. I like Kyrie Irving more than Steph Curry. And so my 11th man is going to be Kyrie Irving. I like Kyrie more than Steph Curry. But if I want to run Draymond, then I have to run Steph. So it gets really kind of difficult at this stage to kind of prioritize things. Again, I love Draymond with the duo. I think Draymond with the duo is one of the more underrated, even without the duo, guys. I think Draymond Green is just one of the more underrated cards in the entire game. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me. A lot of people are going to be like, well, yeah, Ty with the duo, but Steph is ridiculously expensive. And that's why I'm saying, even without the duo, I think Draymond Green's absolutely elite. Steph Curry, a lot of people like him more than Kyrie Irving. Anyway, he's got a quicker jump shot. He's got range. I just feel like I move better with Kyrie. I get open more with Kyrie. That's just me personally. A lot of people, again, probably disagree with me on that. You could plug Kyrie into that starting lineup if you needed more offense, but I do like the fact that Dwyane Wade can do a little bit of everything on the court. So just plugged in 3 guys right there. Again, kind of broke them all down really quickly, but I'm a big fan of all 3 of those guys on my bench. Backup shooting guard, I'm plugging in Tracy McGrady. Look, alongside Steph Curry, you don't need Devin Booker, right? You don't need a shooting guard that's going to go and get you 40 if you've got Steph at the point guard position. You just need a shooting guard that's going to play some defense, hold it down on that end of the court, which he is at 6'8", and offensively just be that secondary ball handler, which you can do with Tracy McGrady. He can knock down that occasional fade. He can do what he needs to do on the court. Is T-Mac my favorite shooting guard in the game? No, but he is my second favorite shooting guard in the game behind Brandon Roy. They are very, I don't want to say they're similar cards, but they are. They're kind of similar in what they can provide on the court. Brandon Roy is just a little better as far as an overall card, in my opinion, in my team. At the small forward position, this one should be no surprise for you guys, Scottie Pippen. Now, as it stands right now, I got to look at the price of Scottie Pippen because I really don't. I locked in the set, so I can't sell him. But I really wish I could know what the price of Scottie Pippen is right now. I'm guessing his prices went way down. It's probably maybe even under 120,000 MT. Is he good for that price? I mean, I don't know. I'd still wait for him to continue to go down. But he is your perfect 3-and-D guy in my team, right? And I've told you guys, Scotty's not as complete as KD, but he's a better defensive player, right? And so when you do have Steph Curry on the court, you've got to find a way to hide him, okay? And whether that's on a D-Wade, whether that's on your opponent's Scotty, got to find a way to hide him so Scotty can guard the ball. That's why I'm plugging Scottie Pippen in there. I absolutely love and adore Scottie Pippen's release. I'm a firm believer that Scottie Pippen's release is about as good as anybody else's in my team. I absolutely love it. Super easy to time, super easy to green. Definitely my backup small forward position. My backup center, Shaquille O'Neal. I actually think Shaq is overall better than Chris Bosh, just because I think he's more complete, 7'1" interior big. But you gotta pair Shaq up with a point guard that can 3-hunt. The Shaq and D-Wade duo is not it. Because look, D-Wade's not a 3-hunting option. He's just not. He's more of just like I don't even want to call him a rim running option. He's more of just a defensive option. Like, you can't even run your offense through Dwyane Wade, really. Whereas with Steph Curry, you know what he's going to provide for you. He's going to be one of the best 3-hunting point guards in the entire game. That's why pairing him with Shaq is ultimately where I leaned into with my bench unit. Again, you could plug Kyrie with Shaq too. That's the duo that I've been running basically all season long, right? Since Shaq came out, since I got him, I've been running him with Kyrie and absolutely loving it. So you guys might be wondering, okay, Ty, for these last 2 spots, who are you plugging in? I'm plugging in Devin Booker as far as an Ammy into my 12th spot. Look, offensively speaking, at the shooting guard position, he is the best guy there. Now, I think Brandon Roy is close, but when we're talking about specific to offensively at the shooting guard position, D-Book is your best overall offensive shooting guard. And so if you need a bucket late in the game, don't hesitate to put D-Book in there. Again, this is your best squad in my team, and I do think D-Wade makes it. Now, my 13th man, I want you guys, before I tell you guys who it is, I want you guys to think. Who is, after Bosh, after AD, after Shaq, who is your next best big? I don't know. I leaned into Blake Griffin, but I really do not know if Blake Griffin's your next pick. Okay, that's who I plugged in there because I think as far as his release, as far as his movement, he gives you a little something different offensively. I like him in that 13th spot, but I really don't know. So I need you guys down below in the comments to tell me who would be your 13th man, right? If you had to plug a 13th man and it was a big man in my team, who would you have plugged in there? Because that's kind of where I leaned, is I'm like, I guess Blake Griffin provides something a little different. I like the card. I've liked him for years. Maybe that's who I'd lean into. And that ultimately is who I decided to go with. But let me know your thoughts on that down below in the comments, because I'm sure you guys have some different thoughts on that. This is the 13-man squad that I do believe is the best squad in my team right now. Some guys you could have plugged in there again if you wanted to. I think Robert Covington is close at the small forward position. Yes, I'm biased. Some other point guards you could throw in there. Oscar, Jason Kidd are really good. Cards like that I think are close. Grant Hill, another option that you guys could possibly have in your top 13. Drop a like on it, subscribe if you are doing it. As always, man, I love you guys, and have a blessed day.